I was able to touch base with him, left him a message, and to my surprise, he gave me a call back, and we chatted on the phone for 37 minutes one afternoon, and he was real open and forthcoming. And at the end, he asked me, directly, do you think David did this? I said, I don't think he did. I said, I don't know who did, but I don't personally believe that David pulled the trigger. And he says, well, I said, now, are you interested in investigating this case? He said, I'll tell you what. He's got a lot of faith along with the family, and he says, regardless if David did it or not, I can still sleep well at night knowing that whoever did this will have to face God, and that will be that person's biggest issue. So he goes, I'm not concerned here on this earth if we find out who did it or not, or in fact, who did it. He goes, I've got a daughter and a granddaughter that I cannot get back. I never will. If I had time and money, would I investigate it? He goes, yes, I would. But he goes, I don't have time. I don't have funds. But he goes, if I had both of those things, I would certainly be investigating this case because it doesn't add up. He agrees with our group, and I think with Greg mostly. What Mr. Alam said to me was, he goes, I can't believe how the Apple Valley Police would rush to a judgment that soon without knowing the facts. That's exactly his words. I don't understand the concept, he said, of where you could rush to a conclusion of that magnitude in a matter of 48 hours. He goes, I don't understand that.
And they've never told him, the cops have never told him their theory, is what I'm guessing, because if they did, then he probably would have said that, correct? He would have said, well, the cops said this, and I trust them because A, B, C, D. Obviously, they haven't told him anything either, is what it sounds like.
Well, good question. He, along with the Crowleys, it sounds like, are waiting for this report to come out, along with us. He says, I have no reason to really go against what I've heard so far from them, but I'm waiting, just like you are, to see what the police have to say about this. So he hasn't been told. The Crowley's parents haven't been told. I don't believe. I think they've been given some parameters of what more than likely took place, but I don't believe law enforcement gave them details at all, so they're still in the dark too, and that's why they've been quiet, he thinks, is why you haven't heard anything from the Crowleys or the Alams, because they haven't been given anything to chew on. They're waiting, as we are, to see what the final result is. Then once this report comes out, that's final and marked closed, and everything's finalized, then you might hear the uproar from the families if they agree with it or not. But right now, he says there's really nothing to say on a public statement or to go public with anything because we don't know what happened.
Could it be that they're just really taking their time to make sure they really get their story straight because they know there's a spotlight on this whole case and there's people like us who's going to be picking apart the official story once it's released, so they want to make sure that they don't have to backtrack on something they said in an official investigation. They want to make sure they have all their bases covered, and maybe someone in federal law enforcement or maybe someone has spoken to some of the investigators to tell them to make sure that they have to be very careful with this case about what type of information is released. I believe it's something along those lines.